Boom, boom, boom. Yes, that's right. Fans, listeners, regular viewers, we are back. The four Bs. That is bullish Bitcoin banter and bullshit brought to you by Mr. All In, aka the Trillion Dollar Man, Dr. Evil 10%, aka the People's Champ. Also, sick note, we'll come on to that. Myself, Sir Nevlook, aka the Excellence of Execution, and surprise, no surprise, still no Mrs. No Show. This is Pod 185. What's going on, guys?
I'm just looking forward to the UK budget because it's going to solve all our worries and it's going to enrich our children.
Your children's children.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing our part.
Mm. I did
The
see a
money
little
will
headline
not flow
the
down.
other day. Actually, I put a little LinkedIn post about it where you know how they decreased capital gains allowance from 12K to 6, then to 3. Apparently, capital gains tax income for the UK government this year or last year is, I think, 20% less than the year before. So guess what?
Yeah,
By increasing the tax rate, it ends up in less. This is like, this is socialism 101, it's taxation 101. It's a very fine knife edge of how much to tax. The second you start
but it's funny
much,
because everyone's eating up the shit which they're doing through their sponsored grifters like Gary, what's his name, Stevenson. Someone said to me like we're talking about it, and I was saying, "Oh, have you seen the stuff on the budget?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's just trying to make sure people pay their fair share." The eye just started twitching. I was just like, and I was like, what are you on about? He's like, oh, companies, escaping tax. I'm like, it's just taking the money which we pay to employees. And also they're probably paying a good 60% of their income on taxes. Like, corporations taxes 20%. I'm like, employers, employees, income tax, VAT on their goods, out their goods. I'm like, they are paying a good proportion of their revenue into tax,
yeah.
and he couldn't understand it, but he got indoctrinated by the pay your fair share.
I
And I
know.
was
The
just
problem
like,
is
and
like,
this is a clever guy, really clever guy.
they're not even doing that right now, right?
Yeah.
The few real life situations that I've seen is that one. So, capital gains is such an important one. Like every single person in the world really should at some point have to pay capital gains tax just for the fact that you should be investing. And if you do just invest and you just pretty much buy any stock in the on the S&P 500 and hold it for 10 years, you'll probably be in profit, right? So hence the gains will hit you, even if it's just the fact that inflation happened and you rode up with inflation. You'll end up, no matter what your starting investment, you'll probably end up making more than 3K profit at some point. And then the other one was oh shit, I've just forgotten it. It literally is right there. It's capital gains. Everyone complaining. That was it. There's a recruiter on LinkedIn going, it's getting really hard to place people in jobs that are over £100,000 now because you lose a load of child benefit if you go one grand
Mm,
over the 100K. So they're having to build up weird packages to make sure people are paying into pensions or have stock options or basically have to massage people's salaries to not go over 100K just in case because they you basically lose like I don't know 10 or 15K worth of benefits on the side of it. So it literally
mm,
unless you're getting jumping straight into 120, there's no point being paid 101. You just got to sit at 99 until someone goes, I'll pay 130. Now it's worth jumping straight over and you're back in the black again. But up until then you're in the red. And you go, so what's this? What's that about paying your fair share? So these are everyday people, right? That people are doing well in their careers, they're either investing well or they're earning over 100 grand, they're getting screwed. And I guess there's a load of people on 20, 30, 40K going, yeah, good, pay your fair share. But you do realize they
Oh,
are, they're paying
the
way more taxes than you into the system and
the
taking.
funniest thing is she's saying that everyone's going to have to pay their fair share, and apparently it's going to be from 46K onwards that you're going to see tax increases.
Yeah,
And like, not being
everyone.
disrespectful, but 46K isn't a massive wage, and you're kind of going the cost of living, food, gas, electricity, rent or mortgage, it's eaten most of that salary up.
Yeah.
And you're kind of going,
Yeah.
what on earth are they thinking?
Well, well, we know it's fucking forced socialism, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the only thing. But we know how socialism ends, and the lines aren't for food; they're because everything's run out.
Yeah, because guess what? Like already we're seeing it, right? People aren't investing, and what it will mean is that they'll mean that some of the plebs that would have got out of their situation they're in are being prevented from investing, so hence don't incur the tax. But it'll also be some of the top end people have gone, well, fuck you, I don't want to pay 24%.
I'm laughing because it was so hard to get out of pleb stage. It was, wasn't it? It was so
And
difficult.
and they're proposing an exit tax. And this is funny enough. I said, I said they're trying to bring in an exit tax, and this guy who's been to football,
Yeah,
he's like, good. And I was just like, these people are paying once again 60% tax on first-hand tax plus all the second-hand tax, and you're wondering why they don't want to stay.
Yeah, and do you
Uh,
realize how
yeah,
fucked we're going to be when they do go? And guess what? You have to give people loads of notice for a tax like that to come in. So guess what's going to happen?
exactly.
They're going to leave before April comes
Exit.
in.
Yeah,
yeah, and that's it because these companies, which these people own, or even just the wealth, which they invest within the UK, it isn't magically going to be recirculated to other people in the UK. It's going to go to Dubai.
yeah,
Yep. All those jobs will move.
But this is how good the indoctrination. Like we make fun of Gary Stevenson in his like 90s tracksuit doing his London Chav act, but it's got a lot of people.
No,
They
no, yeah.
actually believe it.
Well, yeah, because the government are very clever about who they sponsor loads of these influencers. So yeah, having a Trojan horse on our side is like the classic controlled opposition, isn't he? He's pretending to be with us, but really he's on their team. And what he's like going is, yeah, don't hate the government. It's not the government's fault. Hate rich people, hate, and
Yeah.
then
Oh,
it end
and
up
it's like
with,
tax their wealth, and it's just like by the time you try and bring in a wealth tax, they're gone. And then it won't be on 4 million. It'll be 1 million. But it's like, oh yeah, we're getting no tax receipts. We'll put it down to 500 grand. Then everyone's house falls into it next because of
yeah. But,
inflation.
but guess who ends up living with the taxation really? Is it the billionaires? No, it's the people that earn over 46K. It's the people that make more than 3K of capital gains income every year. And guess what? The majority of those people can't just leave. They have jobs, they have families, they don't they are and they're not financially free. They can't just go, fuck it, I'm going to Dubai. Going to Dubai to do fucking what?
yeah,
Where's your
yeah.
job? Where's your property? Da da da. The billionaires, they're just like, yeah, they can just click their fingers, ask their assistant to go buy a home in Dubai. What's the budget? I don't know, 20 mil. Fucking buy something nice, 20 mil. Let's just start at home. Let's get going. And they're gone. They're, gone inside, a couple of months. And their life
It's
doesn't
like
keep.
the current rich person's trend as well, by
Yeah.
the way.
But
It is, in terms of people doing it. It's like, oh, okay, they're such and such is doing it. Yeah, we'll jump on that. I saw Rio Ferdinand moved his whole family out just like that. Done. So many people.
hold on a sec. My sister's calling me and she never calls me. Oh shit. Yeah, one we'll call, aren't we? Carry on without me.
Okay.
Oh God, I don't know what to talk about. We've got shit Bitcoin price movement at the moment, so we can't really talk about that one. We've
Well,
had a good,
we never really talk about price, but
well,
price is always there as that elephant in the
because
room, isn't it?
you know, Mr. Orlin, sold October to me. So
Yes, yeah,
where
he
the
did.
fuck's
He did.
October? This would be like my, I suppose, first proper one. There's nowhere to be
Yes,
seen.
yeah, yeah. I mean, October's over, and we're
Yeah,
into well, I don't even want to what you want to call it,
down
but
Vember,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm just like, oh great,
Decreasember.
yeah, and I'm like, great, we're going to down Vember and Decreasember, and I'm like, great, we're into crypto winter now, aren't we? And this has gone for 3 years. I wanted at least
Yeah,
150k. but
Yeah.
that's gone.
I know. At least we wanted a few like super highs where we could give the
Though there is promising because what's his name? Kramer has come out and said that Bitcoin is just going to go down. So we might get up Upbember.
love that. Well,
um,
yeah, I'm here for it all. Like I said, I bought some. Happy to buy a little bit more. As always, I don't practice what I preach, and I just did a big dump, and I tried to time the market, and again, it worked. So, to everybody that DCAs, continue to DCA. I'll continue not to.
yeah, I'm looking at the price and I'm like, I need to free up some cash.
Yeah,
But talking about who will buy Bitcoin, we've got first story, Tucker.
let's get on that story. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tucker. So
Carlson.
go for it.
I was going to say it's an interesting story. So anyone who's not familiar with, well, I suppose everyone is familiar with Tucker Carlson. He is, I suppose, news presenter is the best way to describe him in the
Yeah,
USA.
journalist, news presenter, interviewer. You could always say, he's always going against the grain, and that's the key reason as to why he is where he is right now. And it's a strange thing that he's equally not a Bitcoiner.
Well, what I think really came out of it is he says he won't invest in Bitcoin because he doesn't know who Satoshi is. So therefore,
Mm,
it's a CIA. And I kind of went, I looked at it and went, I suppose it's a modern investing mindset, and it's also the mindset about investing rather than what we go on to, which is this is a revolution. Is with something like Bitcoin, why do you if it's doing what you need it to do, why do you need to know who the CEO is? It's not
yeah,
like Ethereum where it's got its own little shitty roadmap. It is hard money. It is sound money. It isn't something which you could play about with JPEGs on the blockchain and it's a mother arsehole of all shit coins. It
yeah,
is the revolution. And I think that's what he doesn't understand. So he's looking at it basically versus almost like a Google stock, is how I think he's almost
mm,
seeing it. Um, so he's nowhere near the rabbit hole. I think he wants to be in the rabbit hole because he sees that a lot of his pals are down the rabbit hole, but he doesn't get it at all.
yeah. It's interesting as well, and I know we've covered this previously before and offline, but there's so many things I don't understand, but with Bitcoin, it was like I needed to understand and still trying to understand everything about it. But a lot of the comments as we read, for anyone that again is new to the show, everything that we talk about in terms of the links and the stories are linked. But ultimately, who invented the English language? Who invented maths? Who invented a lot of things? No one really goes into that deeply the nuances of how they came about, but because Bitcoin is Bitcoin, for some reason you need to know. It's so ironic, isn't it? It's like no one can just accept it for what it is. They need to know everything in terms of the ins and outs.
And also, why? Well, I suppose the point is, why would the CIA embed Bitcoin unless they're planning on toppling their own government?
Mm,
So it just doesn't make sense, and I think it's just very ill informed. But it is something which I heard off a few people. Do I think that the CIA invented Bitcoin? I'm like, no, they the CIA did not invent Bitcoin, and I think the final story in this trio, which Mr. All-In put in, was why does it matter? Why do I need to know? I know its properties. All the code's open
yeah,
source.
yeah.
This really doesn't matter to me.
The thing is, as well, as we know, is that this is not a new phenomenon in terms of the fact that there was various other forms and attempts at some form of e-money. And it just so happened that Bitcoin is the one that succeeded. So, if people are really into their money and where money started from and how we got here and everything like that, they'll be aware that this isn't new. It's just an iteration of what was already there previously before.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's move on. So again, hey, Tucker Carlson, great that you won't be investing. Just means there's more sats for us. So this is great. So CZ, who was previously the CEO of Binance, the largest crypto exchange, has been pardoned by Donald Trump. For and CZ's put out a tweet saying, deeply grateful for today's pardon and to President Trump for upholding America's commitment to fairness, innovation, and justice. We'll do everything we can to help make America the capital of crypto and advance Web3 worldwide. Still in flight, more posts to come. So CZ was actually a Canadian citizen, but again, the CEO and billionaire for Binance. There will be, because he already gave up quite a lot of cash anyway, there will be some heavy repayments, I'm sure, for getting this pardon. And it's not just a handshake and a high five of there you go, bro. Everything's done and dusted. What's your thoughts?
I want to say that I read a bit of a conspiracy theory about this, about why I suppose there's multiple elements on this. There's the bit about the person betting on it. Well, I want to say that's in the story, but one about CZ is I want to say that I read a conspiracy theory. It was because he helped him create the Trump coin.
Ooh,
Might be wrong. I may have no backing for that, but I have heard, I have read or heard a rumor, and so it was a bit of a strange one that he gets a pardon, though, isn't it? Because he was done for
mm.
basically fraud and money laundering. So he was letting it through the Binance platform, with his shit coins.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, someone is on the inside scoop on this one. So CopyZilla with the story on this one. Remember that Hyperliquid whale that shorted the market made 190 million because of Trump tweets a few hours. A polymarket account linked to it called Big Winner 01 placed bets at ZZ would be pardoned, looking like obvious insider knowledge. And then the
Yeah.
next one from Luke Martin. The CZ pardon news basically confirms that the Bitcoin whale, Garrett Jin, is getting inside info from a Trump admin.
Mm.
So yeah, it's kind of like that I suppose rumor that CZ was somehow involved with Trump. Might be complete and utter
That wouldn't
bullshit.
happen, would it? That wouldn't happen, surely.
It is starting to turn something like into something off a sitcom though, isn't it? When like
I mean,
We thought that Trump would be a bit better than Biden, but it's just the same shit, shit show still.
yeah. I mean, you've probably got every key CEO or co-founder of an exchange on the hotline to Donald Trump. You got the Gemini twins in terms of the Winklevoss twins. Is it, what's his name from the CEO of Coinbase,
Brian, is it Brian?
Brian Armstrong? Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be there. Again, we've got CZ. I'm trying to think of a few others as well, but they'll all have, and they already, not all will have, they all have links with Trump. So are we just supposed to turn a blind eye?
Well, there's fuck all which we can do. We discovered that during the whole COVID fiasco. when
Yeah.
politicians were letting some very questionable things happen. They're letting some very questionable contracts happen, but we all just had to sit there and kind of like go, yeah, we ever went, this is happening, or like most people just
Mm.
went, oh no, it's fine.
Mm.
So I think it's just one to kind of ignore because what can you do? Be good to get Mr. All-In's take on this, but obviously we've lost him. Um,
Yeah. Okay, so just going back though to CoffeeZilla again, I think I know you covered it in terms of it, but he's definitely someone to follow. And maybe we come back to this story in another week or so.
yeah. Did you watch the next video?
No, I didn't. No,
No, no, we'll see if we can get Mr. All-In to splice it in, doing the click.
the infamous click. How long
So
is it? Oh, okay, it's 3 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, so this one, Daniel Batten, he's someone who I recognise. I don't know what I've seen him on. I'm just having a quick
I
look
mean,
at
it's
his
got a face
profile.
that you can't forget. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he looks like. Do you remember that? Is he a squirrel on Ice Age
Yes.
with the
Yeah.
eyes? Is that where I'm thinking of him from?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So it says technology investment coaching Bitcoin. So he is someone linked to it, but he has this big rant about Bitcoin cannot give you freedom. And he goes on and on because basically he says that if your freedom's linked to an event, then you're a slave. Um, and he keeps on going on about it. And it's one which was a bit preachy. So I was a bit about this story, but I think it's probably a bit of a talking point, which is why Mr. All-In wanted to put it in, is if you're so dependent upon something and not really enjoying life and grinding it through, is it really worth it? Should you not be enjoying doing the things that give you joy today?
Hmm. Do you reckon?
What say you, Sir Neverlook?
Sorry, say that again.
So the overview of why is basically because he's saying that because you're waiting on an event for Bitcoin to moon, you are a
Yeah.
slave to the system
Yeah.
which you're in. You're basically having to work in
Hmm.
a job, you're having to churn it out because you don't really want to work. You're just dying for the day when you can just drop everything, run into the sunset, get that Lambo and drive it onto your boat. And his final point was do things that give you joy today.
I do that. I do that because, it goes to the name. Like, I don't look and I don't try not to think about it. I just do everything else. And if Bitcoin so happened to moon, hey, yeah, I'm out. But if it doesn't, then there's also, well, I say there's a plan B. There's less of a plan B now because the plan B is really plan Bitcoin. That's the only plan. It's not like I'm like I was previously, looking at property more and more. It's no, why do I want that headache? Let me invest into something that gives me zero phone calls or, needing to chase them up for outstanding rent or broken toilet seats. You name the issue. I just have to put the money in and say nothing. Just wait. Cool.
Sit back, relax.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
it's,
know it's
it's an
going to give me a
interesting point
return.
in that you do get people who are, I think, in all walks of life, just waiting that one life-changing event
Of
and
course.
basically
Of
slog and
course.
don't have any enjoyment. I suppose become quite bitter.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think, they don't mean to, but they kind of get caught in that grind of life. So I think there is a point to it. But reading through Mr. All-In's posts on this, he has got a point when he says he's just a rich cunt.
I mean, you and I obviously we enjoy fitness in between waiting for Bitcoin to moon. I think, you know what? That phrase where people say, when you have money, it just simply enhances exactly the type of person that you are. We would just continue to do what we enjoy doing anyway. So it would free up more time for you to read more. It would free up more time for you to exercise more, cook more. If you're doing things in the garden, all of those things, that's what Bitcoin mooning would really provide to us.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think it would just give you the opportunity to do things which you want to do, but ultimately, if it didn't happen for another 40 years, I'm pretty sure I could get by.
Yeah, yeah. Ultimately, I don't think of it as I mean, it is my get out of jail free card, but it's also if it went to zero tomorrow, God forbid. But we've got other things that could take us to that holy place, albeit a lot slower.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, I'm hedging my bets, but also, like you said, I think you've got to enjoy your life as is. We've both got young children, both like exercise and other things to do. So there's plenty of things which I look forward to, which aren't just four years away. But we
Yep.
are going to have 4 years away now that we've come out of October and we're in November. Um, the next story, I don't know if you can actually view the link, but it's not loading for me.
See.
So I think it's just some early sats on the move. It's titled. So we're kind of like,
Uh, yeah, it's not
so
Bitcoin Core exposed.
and that's the one after, unless it's relaunched.
Um, um,
So Bitcoin Core exposes not one, which I've actually watched myself, so I have not got a clue. We
no,
could really do with Mr. All In for that one.
I mean, what we could do is, I mean, he's in charge of the recording, so we can't record. We can't simply hit pause. It's all good. We can edit it out. But let's see. What can we can't. It's a 110. All in Bitcoin with CK. Yeah, I'll probably have to watch it to be able to
Yeah,
comment on it.
it's one which I
Um,
think he added a little bit later on, so it's not one which I've actually watched. So we'll move on after butchering this part of the show. Onto the Max
that
and
this is what happens when you leave us at the wheel. I mean, it's
I
been a
know.
while, hasn't it? But you leave you and I at the wheel, and it all just goes off kilter.
I
So
think we used to call it misinformation, didn't we?
yeah, yeah, the misinformation pod. Um, well, viewers will be happy to know that we have booked our annual Christmas meal together, even though it's happening in November, because we just live very busy lives. I mean,
If
it's been a while. I'd say these last five pods, because I remember when we did 180, it's been a while just to get to 180. Five.
Yeah, everything's been like churned up. So yeah, we've
Yeah.
got the Christmas meal coming up, and my missus is saying to me, "Is like you need to sort out the meal whilst you're at the meal for the next one." So certainly have a look and Mr. All In joint birthday party meal. We need to
Mm.
book that one in my calendar, and then I think we need to book a joint Miss No Show and Dr. Evil birthday party because our birthday's about a month apart, so we can do that one
Yeah.
as well. So we have to book the next event whilst we're at the previous events.
Yeah, that's a great shout of efficiency. I like that. I really do. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean,
Um,
we have obviously we should talk about and give kudos to because we know he watches and listens. Young NBA.
oh yeah, climbing up Kilimanjaro so you can abuse some Sherpas. There's going to be some sexual
Great.
harassment lawsuits coming back from that hike.
Yeah. I probably will need to give him some sats for his efforts. I haven't donated yet, but that's a definite sat earner. Well done, young
Yeah,
NBA.
fair
That's
play to him, even though he hasn't come on the show for a while. I have to give him some kudos for that.
yeah.
So going on, well, we'll go back to the actual story since we've still been left alone and unattended. So the next
The kids are
story
at the wheel.
was Max Kaiser, and it's a really interesting one because it's a kind of like what if story. So this is about oh, what's his name? So I've had an absolute Julian Assange and how he was
Yeah,
given
yeah.
some funds in Bitcoin, or rather he asked for some, and but Satoshi was worried about the attention derailing Bitcoin in the early days. So what they did was after Satoshi went dark, they sent him some Bitcoin, and it's one of those moments that if they'd sent him some Bitcoin when he was in legal troubles and the source of funds had been found, then what would have happened? You know, if he'd actually used these Bitcoins to pay for legal fees or something else, would it have caused Bitcoin to topple over because of a negative impact? So you think like Julian Assange, before I really opened my eyes, I was just like, oh, he's a shithouse, isn't he?
Mm.
Whereas you look at him now, along with oh, who was this CIA guy? Um, but someone who leaked all the secrets on phone tapping and listening to
Oh, yeah.
calls.
I
I can't
know.
remember. Yeah, he ended up being in Russia, and he pops up every now and often. But same with Julian Assange. At the time, I was like, aren't these people bad? So the media says they're bad. And
Yeah.
so Bitcoin had that association with Julian Assange back in what was this, 2010 or 11?
Yeah, do you want to say 2010, roughly?
Would it have derailed Bitcoin? Because you think it's in
Hmm.
its infancy. All it's used for at this point is really Silk Road. It's being used for a pizza, but it hasn't got that. It hasn't got that speed up. It hasn't got the it hasn't started building up at this point. And if it got derailed, when
Yeah.
everyone's going, "Oh, it's bad. I better not buy Bitcoin because Julian Assange, the corrupt motherfucker, uses it."
I mean, I think it's always had that, and still, even to this day, for those that really know nothing about it, has that bad connotation with it. And so I think this is something that has not derailed Bitcoin, but it's put a lot of people off. Like when you thought, okay, it's used by drug dealers on the Silk Road, it's just like, oh, do I really want to look into
Or, or
that?
what
But
or what it's known as is a use case.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so I think it is an interesting point because it's a sliding doors moment, and you do think to yourself, if this had happened, would it be that moment
Mm.
which could have stopped it? So you kind of think it survived Silk Road, Ox. It survived. Was it the Republic of Congo having it as a currency, then scrapping it? It survived. I suppose the recent one, Millet, pumping it and then turning around and actually just being a fraud and printing shitloads of cash. So you kind of go, it has had all these bad connotations near it.
Hmm. Um, I think again, as people try to educate themselves more and more, and naturally the price goes up more and more, then people kind of put that to the side and be like, their morals go out the door, don't they? It's just like, well, there's money to be made here. I need to at least think about it, and it's not gone anywhere for the last X amount of years. I think it's time.
Um, yeah. The last story, the cocaine standard. It sounded really interesting, and I clicked the link and I can't bloody open it. I don't know if you're gonna have any luck,
Uh,
otherwise we're gonna have to make up a story about this.
let's see. No, I can't. I can't. Yeah, no, it's
So
gone.
we could speculate that this is just a picture of Mr. All in a nappy, snorting a speedball, if that's even a thing.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see.
So you type in the cocaine standard and see what
Y-
comes up into Google.
Yeah, yeah. No, nothing. No, nothing. Would be interesting. Talking of books again, whilst he's out and he's left us at the wheel. There's a new one by Morgan Housel. Have you seen it? The
No.
Art of Spending.
Morgan. Sorry,
From
what's
the
his name?
same, or yeah, Morgan Housel, who is the author of the Psychology of Money,
Oh yeah.
has also produced something else now called The Art of Spending. I like him, but, and there's a big but, he still hasn't got Bitcoin.
So have you read this book or is this just one
I
which
just
you're
saw
ordering?
from it, just saw because he was on the podcast, The Diary of the CEO, last week, I think it was. And everything that he says is super sound in terms of principle. He actually keeps a lot of cash, which I was again thinking, oh gosh,
He
dude,
keeps
like
cash.
he keeps three ways that he invests. I think he just does the S&P 500, cash, and then I think it was, yeah, that and something else. It was just super, super boring. Might have even been bonds or something ridiculous. Like, super safe, super boring, just like no, maybe a bit of gold as well.
And you lose your money.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's
Interestingly,
just
while
like,
we're on the
yeah.
subject of books, there is a new book by our favorite author,
Safe,
Saifuddin,
Dean.
The Gold Standard.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so we've had
I love how we
the
didn't
bit
practice that and we said we went straight to safe. Brilliant.
the Bitcoin standard, the fiat standard, principles of economics, and now the gold
Yes.
standard. But I'm looking on
Okay.
his site, and obviously he runs a publishing house now. So Fiat Broken Money, one which I'm reading at the moment intermittently, and Fiat Food, which I don't think I've actually read.
No, I haven't
Um,
read that.
but I'm always interested about food. But then again, I think it touches upon it in the Fiat Standard. And I've also read Ultra Processed People, and I think it'll probably cover the same kind of things.
Hmm.
I think that's about it. We can't really keep on talking gibberish, can we? No agenda. Two stories which we haven't covered. What's going to happen? I think you have to play us out, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, this is an odd one, right? I hope he's everything's all right. But yeah, we're gonna cut it there and say to Mr. All In, thanks for joining us. Obviously, this has been Pod 185, brought to you by Dr. Evil 10%, the People's Champ, and myself, Sir Neverlook, aka the Excellence of Execution. No surprises, no misses, no show. We'll leave him to record, edit, and do as he may please. Peace.